Hey everyone, Howie Fischer from Fisher's Flies. Thanks for checking in. Today I'm going to be tying up a super simple CDC style jig pattern that is a super effective nymph and really only requires 3 materials, which was why it's so nice. So let's go ahead and get started. For the hook in the vise, I'm using an Ahrex freshwater 555 as always in a size 16. Obviously tie this in whatever size you need. For the bead, I'm going to be using a 3.0 millimeter slotted tungsten bead in gold from Fly Tying Source. For the thread, I'm using UTC 70 denier in tan. And I'm going to go ahead and get started with my thread right behind the bead. Make sure that bead is secure and not going anywhere, and then snip off my thread with my trusty Resin scissors. What I'm going to do here is to make the body, just start working my thread back, and I'm going to tie the tail in, which is pheasant tail here in tan. I'm going to go ahead and pick off about 3, 4, 5 fibers, whatever you lay your hands on, lay your fingers on. Make sure the tips are aligned. I'm going to measure it about the length of the body, and then transfer hands and start tying them in. I always like to take 2 or 3 wraps and then make sure they're actually the length that I want them before securing the rest. I'm going to secure these fibers all the way up to the head to create an even body. And that's it as far as the body goes. This is why this fly is so simple. Next, I'm using my perfect dubbing blend in brown and gold. I've got PMD, which would work well for this pattern as well as gold and brown. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a decent little clump, straighten out the fibers, and then I'm going to flatten out my thread for a split thread dubbing loop. Obviously do whatever type of dubbing loop here you prefer. But as you can see, not a huge clump, but not a small amount either, because this is going to form really what will end up being the body for the most part. As these fibers get wet and lay back, it'll create that profile that you want on these nymphs. I'm gonna go ahead and make sure no fibers get trapped. And then I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap this collar all the way forward to right behind the bead. And that is it. Again, this is a super simple nymph pattern. Gonna go ahead and whip finish 2 or 3 times. Make sure that that's not going anywhere. Add some Solarez bone dry for added insurance. And again, this is super simple. It can be tied up in a number of variations, a number of different colors, but super simple, super buggy. Doesn't take a lot of time. It'll get down because the profile under that CDC is still thin. You can obviously size up on the bead if you need. Tie them up, fish them, let me know what you think. Thanks for checking in.